All right, to watch this video for Thursday, last day of May, May 31st. If I take today's candle out of it, it looked like the SPY's rolling over and then boom, right back up into this range. So we're holding up pretty well. Here's the stocks I'm going to be watching tomorrow. ANY. I say this every time I put one of these on watch, but it's worth repeating. I generally don't trade the sub-dollar stocks, but I need to probably quit giving that disclaimer because I'm starting to trade them a little bit. But this one looks good. Yeah, really big volume that took it up to, even though they had a kind of a nasty reverse, took it up to 73 cents, came back down sideways, and then pretty nice volume today, closing near the highs. So I do like this one for a potential long tomorrow. As you know, only with a proper intraday setup. LEJU had the big pop yesterday, and then today kind of a quiet inside day. The 200-day seems to be giving it trouble, and only 566,000 traded today. No trades in it today, but I definitely want to watch it tomorrow again. The volume's pretty light on that one, so I don't love it. ADOM, this one just has my attention. 40 million shares. It took it up to $2. 3-day pullback, and now it's kind of going sideways below that high. The 2-day high of 175. Today's high 174. I really needed to get over this 2-day high before I'm going to get involved in it, but deserves to be on watch. OGEN gapped up today. Look at this, 17 million shares, closing slightly below its open, but let's see, it opened at 210 today. I still, with this kind of volume, I talked about this last night, or maybe it was today in chat. I can't remember. It all blends together when you get to my age. But I talked about how this one just tends to get slapped down. A lot of topping tails on the daily. This one closed fairly strong, though. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. But if it holds, in other words, tomorrow, if we get a kind of a narrow range and then a red to green and a high of day break, this one might squeeze a bit because shorts have had great success knocking this thing back down. So if it does kind of give any semblance of holding up, we might get a nice low-risk setup. With all that said, I'm not in love with that one. ZIOP, a nice breakout today on strong volume, breaking out of like a, 2-month range. Still has this high back here to maybe test a 525-ish. Today's high right below 5, so the whole number 5 might come into play as an inflection point tomorrow. We'll see how it sets up. I definitely want to have that one on a chart. CODX, weird action because it gapped up today. So I never know what to do with a 2-day chart like this where you have the big green candle, then the gap up, and the big red candle. To me, it probably needs to come down for a few days before it gives a decent setup. But you always hear me say this, it might give a low-risk setup tomorrow. Remember, I'm only looking for stuff to make a trade-in tomorrow. I'm in cash every night before the end of the, before the closing bell. So SGLB, strong volume today, 27 million shares, but closing well off its highs. I mean, this thing got up to $3 today and then closing at 195. So I have no idea what to do with it tomorrow, but we really don't have any idea what to do with any of them unless and until we see the market open and we see how they trade. With this kind of volume, it's certainly worth watching, okay? SNES, I had a trade in this one today. I think I made a couple hundred just in this trade. I can't remember, but it's worth watching again because it had this strong move. Matter of fact, speaking of a big green candle, then a gap up, and then a red candle, there's an example of what can. It doesn't mean that's going to happen every time. But there's an example of I didn't trade this. This was probably on watch this day, right after this pattern, and I didn't do anything with it until today. All right, and I'll show you what I did today. Today, my call was just an early break of the high of day because you had yesterday's high, as another potential catalyst just above. So called this long if it broke 133, thinking we might get a quick push through 135, and it's kind of the first bounce day, and it got really nice volume. Look at that. I mean, this bigger stick than anything it did all day yesterday. From the 133 went to 144, and again, I didn't make a killing on it, but I had a nice little trade in it, and after the midday chop, it ended up closing pretty strong. So with that in mind, I want to watch it again tomorrow. Let's see, TPIV, very strong move today and closing near its high. So it's extended. It's way away from the moving averages, but we'll watch it tomorrow. CARS got a late day pop. If I go to 5-minute candles, you can see all the volume happened right at the end of the day. And so it is definitely worth watching for follow through tomorrow. SMRT was on bounce watch today. Didn't even come close to giving a setup. Now we're hitting the 20-day, which it bounced nicely off of last time. Hole number 3 right there, too. Interesting. So we'll watch that one for potential bounce again tomorrow. And lastly, I have CHCI, which had this monster move, and now we've got 1, 2, 3 days lower, getting close to the 8-day. So that one goes on bounce watch too. I got to tell you, I'm not in love with this list, but you never know, and we might catch a really nice morning gap and go or something like that tomorrow as well. So, it's plenty to watch when you consider we've got our scanners we're going to watch as the market's unfolding, the teamwork in the chat room, a lot of people running scanners, and everybody willing to share what they're seeing. So, trades can come out of nowhere, and a lot of times, oftentimes, they come out of a scanner play or a morning gap play, something that's not on my list at all right now. So even if I don't love my list going to the next day, it's not a big deal to me because I know, the next day trades can come out of nowhere. So anyway, all right, I'm going to quit babbling, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.